We've made it through 2023. We're now in the new year. It's time for some movies to talk about. New titles that are coming out of 2024 to theaters. Hello everybody, time for a top 10 video where I talk about a list of new movies that I'm excited to see in 2024. I talked about 5 movies that I was excited to see in 2023 about a couple of months ago, and now it's time to talk about 10 new movies I'm excited for the new year. Man, 2023 was a good year. Now it's time to go into the new one. I also want to mention that there are other titles that I am leaving out on the list, plus one movie that I have gone over in the top 5 video, which finally has an official release date. And that movie, of course, is Whitebird. Now, I'm interested in seeing it, but if it wasn't for the actors' strike, which ended in November, we would have gotten this film released back in August. They announced the official release date back in December, and it will be out on October 4th. Which is a while. I can't wait for it till then, and it should keep its release date too. No more pushbacks or delays. That aside, with the titles that I'm leaving out of the list, I'll still see them in theaters. It's just way too much to review here. So they will get their own videos to review later on to the channel. Also, you may see me on camera, but I will be reviewing the movies in voiceover. So we're going to be doing a flip-flop change between me numbering the movie of where the title is placed and switching over to my voice work with the images and trailers or clips of the movie shown on screen. Okay. Now that that's all set here, I'll do my best to keep this snappy as I can. Let's go right on ahead and get started on the movies that I'm excited to see in 2024. Number 10, Madam Web. So the trailer for this movie came out in November, and I have to say, it's all right. But it is nice to see 50 Shades actress Dakota Johnson as the lead character in the comics. Alongside Johnson in the movie, we have Sydney Sweeney and Celeste O'Connor as Julia Carpenter and Maddie Franklin being Spider-Women, and Isabella Merced as Aya Corazon Araina, which in Spanish means spider for Merced's character. Now, the plot of this is about Cassie is forced to confront her past while trying to survive with 3 young women with powerful futures who are being hunted by a deadly adversary. The trailer seems a bit confusing at first and a bit dark, but it looks nice though, seeing the behind-the-scenes pics of the actresses playing out their roles, and having the director guide them in the film is nice to see online. Speaking of the director of the film, this is S.J. Clarkson's first directorial debut for the movie and the first Marvel movie made by her. She also directed 2 episodes each of 2 other Marvel shows and many others in her career. Let's just hope after this film she goes on ahead and makes more movies in the future. Otherwise, she did a great job here. For Dakota Johnson's character here, I had to look up this word here. Clairvoyance. It's like she can predict the future and something bad might happen to these girls, and she protects from this dangerous man who doesn't want them to be the next Spider-Woman in life. Otherwise, that's all there is to the plot of the movie, and besides Dakota Johnson, the 3 actresses in the movie, we also have Tahar Rahim, whose character I'm not going to get his name wrong, could be the main villain in this movie. Alongside in the movie, 2 actors and 2 actresses credited here who have no roles of a character here, being Mike Epps, Emma Roberts, Adam Scott, and Zosha Mehmet. Although Roberts and Scott definitely do have their characters revealed if you look online somewhere else than where I'm looking this movie up here for this video. But overall, this movie is alright. It's not bad or anything. It was a bit confusing when I first saw the preview. A perfect casting for Dakota Johnson as the lead. Merced, Sweetney, and O'Connor as the 3 Spider-Women is beautiful. And Raheem as the villain explorer is good. So yes, Madame Web features a couple of cast members, a female filmmaker's first time directing a feature, and Marvel fans, either female or male, will enjoy this movie if it receives good reviews. It certainly deserves to be in the top 10 here. Number 9, Mufasa the Lion King. Now I know what you're all thinking. Why are you placing this movie at number 9, Noah? Well, the 2019 remake of The Lion King may be bad to some critics, but I haven't reviewed that version of it at all. I'll review it soon before this movie comes out, and then I'll have an opinion on it. This is set as a prequel movie, where Rafiki tells the story to Simba and Nala's daughter, Kiara, on how Simba's father, Mufasa, first became the king of the Pride Lands. So instead of Jon Favreau directing this movie, Barry Jenkins came on board to direct the prequel. But it will surely be CGI with live-action background setting for the characters, and the cast of the film voicing them. Speaking of the cast, how can I forget about talking about them? Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner returning as Pumbaa and Timon sounds good to them, but who knows how well they will perform here. Even though the premise said online that they add color commentary like they're adding background talk or something while the story's being told. John Connie as Rafiki, it seems like he could be the narrator for the movie or something in the role. Still, good to have him back. For Mufasa and Scar, it may not be James Earl Jones or Chiwetel Ejiofor from the remake as these 2 brother lions again, but the new actors, Aaron Pierre and Calvin Harrison Jr., voicing these 2 sounds interesting to hear their younger versions of themselves. We'll see what their CGI designs look like when it comes out. For the release date, it originally was supposed to be released on July 5th, 2024, but due to the actor strike, Disney delayed it to December 20th, 2024. Same date as Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Both movies coming out the same day, 5 days before Christmas. We have to wait a whole year for this and Sonic 3 to come out, but that's alright. I can wait until then. Overall though, I'm placing Mufasa the Lion King here. The 2019 remake may not be good to some critics, but its prequel deserves the number 9 spot in the top 10. Number 8, Harold and the Purple Crayon. An author's children's book series and an animated show by Columbia TriStar TV is getting a live-action feature. This movie stars 7 of the cast performing here. 3 of them that I know are featured here: Zachary Levi, Lil Ray Howry, and Zooey Deschanel. There's 4 other actors credited here with no role yet, but who knows if they are the characters in this boy's imagination while going to bed or something else in the real world of the movie. Who knows? Though it will be good to see Zachary Levi in this movie. Maybe he could play the main character here, but grown up, Harold's dad here, or any type of role he is cast here. The same could be said for Zooey Deschanel, but could be Harold's mom or something. We'll see sooner or later on any updates of the film. Before we talk briefly about the book and the series, let's talk about the director. Carlos Sedana, who worked on animated films at Blue Sky before the studio closed its doors in 2021, this will be his first movie being directed by him in live action. Of course, he worked on 3 other movies in live action, credited as either a supervising animator, a creative, or an animation supervisor. Those were definitely done by Blue Sky with their CGI technique, which I haven't seen, but the company and Carlos himself did a good job back in those days. Can't wait to see how he directs the cast for this movie here and other effects added here. To wrap this spot up in the video, the plot of the book here is that it's about Harold, a 4-year-old boy who's curious. With his purple crayon, has the power to create a world of his own simply by drawing it. Now, I could say more to the rest about the plot of this book. I'm going to leave it as it is, and before this movie comes out, I'll read not just the first book, but the rest in the series by this legendary author, Crockett Johnson. Lastly, after reading them, the show and the Scholastic Storybook Treasures adaptation 2008 release I'll look into and see what I think of one of them. The show, on the other hand, it's been a long time since I watched it back in my school days in Lodi. It'll be good to revisit before the movie comes out in August, and this version here deserves to be 8th place. Speaking of which, let's keep going to the next movie.